Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Haven't done this for a long time.
No, we haven't.
We had actually intended to resume Table Talk. We stopped at the end of July when we had some holiday and meant to start when we came back. But the reality is that every Saturday since then has been taken up with something else. So we just haven't had the opportunity. But this morning we do, and also I think it's just a terrific psalm this morning in our community Bible reading. So I thought it'd be great to take a few minutes to read the psalm together and make some comments about that. Predictably, the dogs are going to start being restless. It's that strange spiritual impact upon creatures.
Do you want me to move him?
You can hear him padding around. But anyway, I know that's all part of the ambience. So let's read. It's Psalm 94, and we'll read.
He's there now. He should be good. You can just see the top of his head.
Top of his head. We'll read. He had to have loads of teeth out. Had to have 14 teeth out last week.
14 teeth.
Whippet's a very poor oral hygiene, and he'd also smashed a load chasing foxes.
Well, he ran into a window and there was a fox on the other side. Thankfully, the window survived, but the dog's face didn't.
The teeth didn't survive.
No.
Anyway, that reminds me of another psalm. Smash the teeth in their mouths, O Lord.
It's not nice. He cried for a week.
So did I when I got the bill.
True.
Right, Psalm 94. We're going to read alternate stanzas. I will start. The Lord is a God who avenges. O God who avenges, shine forth. Rise up, judge of the earth. Pay back to the proud what they deserve. How long, Lord, will the wicked, how long will the wicked be jubilant?
They pour out arrogant words. All the evildoers are full of boasting. They crush your people, Lord. They oppress your inheritance. They slay the widow and the foreigner. They murder the fatherless. They say, the Lord does not see. The God of Jacob takes no notice.
Take notice, you senseless ones among the people. You fools, when will you become wise? Does he who fashioned the ear not hear? Does he who formed the eye not see? Does he who disciplines nations not punish? Does he who teaches mankind lack knowledge? The Lord knows all human plans. He knows they are futile.
Blessed is the one you discipline, Lord, the one you teach from your law. You grant them relief from days of trouble, till a pit is dug for the wicked. For the Lord will not reject his people. He will never forsake his inheritance. Judgment will again be founded on righteousness, and all the upright in heart will follow it.
Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers? Unless the Lord had given me help, I would soon have dwelt in the silence of death. When I said, my foot is slipping, your unfailing love, Lord, supported me. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy.
Can a corrupt throne be allied with you, a throne that brings on misery by its decrees? The wicked band together against the righteous and condemn the innocent to death. But the Lord has become my fortress and my God, the rock in whom I take refuge. He will repay them for their sins and destroy them for their wickedness. The Lord our God will destroy them.
Ooh, okay. Great psalm. I thought part of the reason I felt this was such a helpful psalm at this time was because it teaches us how to pray against corrupt and oppressive rule. And if you've been doing community Bible reading, you'll have been reading 1 Peter the last couple of days, which, of course, incredibly by the grace of God, we were teaching as lockdown started. We had that amazing way God set us up with 50 days of prayer at the end of last year, and then into 1 Peter, thinking about living as exiles at the beginning of this year, which took us into the season of lockdown. And in 1 Peter 2, Peter gives us what really is the kind of the framing ethic for how Christians are to live: show proper respect to everyone, love the family of believers, fear God, honour the emperor. And that gives us a pattern for how we're to live and how we're to think, how we're to speak about others. And at this time, I think especially, it's very easy to be disrespectful and dishonouring, especially to those in authority, that all of us have opinions about how different people are doing. We see our own government perhaps not as being as sure-footed as it should be, and all of us have different opinions about what they should and shouldn't be doing, and there's a spectrum of that opinion in the church as there is in society at large. And then, of course, on the wider scene, got the US election coming up, and it's very easy to be dismissive and disrespectful of the players involved there. And the Word of God says to us that actually we're not to be dishonourable, we're not to be disrespectful, we're to honour and to respect, and that can be challenging at this time. And this psalm, I think, is really helpful because it shows us we can remain respectful and honouring, and at the same time we can pray that God would upend and avenge those who are in authority and who are corrupt. And of course, we tend to be very short-sighted in the way we think about politics and government. We're very aware of what's happening in the UK and quite aware of what's happening in the States. Look at a global scene and think about actually far worse regimes. Think China, how the Chinese regime is putting millions of the Uyghur people into concentration camps and doing all kinds of other horrendous things. And really we hear very little about the corruption of the Chinese government. Think about what's happening in Yemen, that terrible war. Think about what's still going on in places like Libya and Syria, and just the destruction of people's lives at a scale which we really have no level of comprehension about, really. And so around the world there are horrendous regimes doing horrendous things to countless millions of people, and this psalm teaches us how to pray. They slay the widow and the foreigner, they murder the fatherless. That is true in so many contexts around the world. But God does see, and so we can pray like this psalm does, in terms of, God, would you sort this out? God, would you avenge here those who need to be avenged? Would you punish those who need to be punished? Because that's what God does. And so I think this is a helpful psalm for us to pray at this time, at the same time as we're seeking to honour and respect those who have authority over us.
Great. The couple of verses that stuck out to me was those series of rhetorical questions. Does he who fashioned the ear not hear? Does he who formed the eye not see? Does he who disciplines the nations not punish? Does he who teaches mankind lack knowledge? And I love that series of questions because it's reminding us that if God made our eyes, he's not blind. And if he made our ears, he's not deaf. And I think sometimes we wonder, God, what are you doing? What's going on? Can you see? Yes, he sees all of it in its entirety. And as Matt's just maybe even shocked you this morning with some things that are going on around the world that actually we're blind to in this kind of horrible, lethargic, passive kind of time where we're not sure what's going on. There are much worse things going on, and we should be grateful but also look to the God who knows everything. And then, who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers? Unless the Lord had given me help. That's where our focus should be. Yes, we look to one another to help us, but that's not our primary help. Our primary help comes from God, and we need to be properly rooted in him, not looking to human solutions. Yes, we should definitely be supporting one another, praying for one another, pressing into community, but our help comes from the Lord, and we should keep looking to him at this time.
Yes, and then some really wonderful verses, I think, again, so helpful for us at this time, verses 18 and 19. When I said my foot is slipping, your unfailing love supported me when anxiety was great within me. Or the ESV translation translate that, when the cares of my heart are many, your consolation brought me joy. And this is a time, of course, when there are many anxieties, when we can have many cares in our hearts, understandably, because of all that's unknown, because of what we can see coming in terms of the huge economic disruption in the world and all that's going on in our own context. And I know many people are struggling with anxiety. We're hearing all the stories about mental health problems increasing, suicide rates going up, and certainly I know from all my interaction with people, talking to some of you, that just anxiety levels are increasing at this time. And this is then a promise to hold on to when anxiety, when the cares of my heart were many.
That's good.
Your consolation brought me joy. Your consolation cheers my soul, as it says in the ESV. So let's turn to God. Jesus is the one in whom there is that spring of living water. And let's come to him, and in our anxieties, in our cares, let's find consolation. Let's know our hearts, our souls being cheered by him. Anything else?
No, that's brilliant. Well done.
Well done, you. Great. Okay, well, we might do this again, depending on how our Saturdays go.
Yeah, let's try.
But love you guys, and praying that God blesses and keeps us.